Hey, did you know that there was a Nightmare Before Christmas sequel 22 years ago? Yeah, way back in 2004, we got a brand new piece of Nightmare media that continued the story of this 1993 Tim Burton classic. It just wasn't a movie. So yeah, fun fact about me, Nightmare Before Christmas is my favorite movie of all time. Point blank, period. There is no contest. If you haven't seen it, it's kind of like How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but if the Grinch had only the best of intentions. There's a dude, Jack Skellington, who is kind of the ruler of the entire concept of Halloween, and he discovers the world of Christmas and decides that he wants to do that instead. So he has Santa kidnapped so he can take his place, and then Santa is nearly killed by this villain character named Oogie Boogie, who doesn't even really show up until 50 minutes into this 70-minute film. And then Jack's friend Sally tries to save Santa, but then she gets captured too, and then Jack gets shot down by the military while he's trying to deliver presents, and then he goes back to Halloween Town, and he saves Santa and Sally by unraveling Oogie Boogie's threads and revealing that he is a big bag of bugs. The end. That's the movie. God damn. It's a simple plot, but it's got a fantastic aesthetic and a ton of heart. And I got into it at basically the perfect time because when I was a kid in the early 2000s, Nightmare was just starting to form its cult following that led to it being the friggin' juggernaut that it is today. Leading to, of all things, some continuations of the story in the form of video games. Particularly the Game Boy Advance prequel story, The Pumpkin King, and the PlayStation 2 and Xbox sequel story, Oogie's Revenge. I kind of fucked that one up. Oogie's Revenge. I had both of these games growing up, and I played them constantly. I loved these games, and I was bad at games when I was a kid, so the fact that I can vividly remember getting all the way to the final boss in this thing completely on my own means that I was dedicated to this shit, man. I never beat it, though. Nerves would always get the best of me, and I just absolutely shit the bed. And then I lose at the game. Anyway, today I just want to dive back into this game, relive some nostalgia, and maybe see if I can finally beat this thing all these years later. So this is Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge. The game landed safely on the bed, so don't freak out. And dude, before the game even properly begins, the nostalgia is off the fucking charts, dude. The title screen alone is a full-fledged remake of the opening of the film. You know, same spinning through all the holiday doors, the same narration, the same music, the same pushing on the Halloween door as it opens, and we see that spinning scarecrow that then leads into, this is Halloween. Are we sure this is a sequel? Are we positive that this is a sequel? Because it kind of just looks like I popped the DVD into my PlayStation 2, something like that. But no, things do eventually go off in their own direction as we see Jack addressing the public at the Halloween Town Hall, congratulating them on another successful holiday. But if you can believe it, Jack is still not happy. The dude is still just completely unfulfilled, which is absolutely insane because this is only 1 year after the original story. Yeah, Oogie's Revenge takes place a singular year after the events of Nightmare Before Christmas, which means this is the first Halloween back after the Christmas fiasco, and he's still just not satisfied. What happened to all that inspiration you had at the end of the movie? What happened to, I've got some new ideas that'll really make them scream? Come on, dude. I love Jack Skellington. Dude's been my comfort character since like 5th grade, if you want to call him that, but I'm starting to get the vibe that he will be a boss. I don't know if that dude's ever satisfied with anything. He feels impossible to please. But anyway, in his efforts to keep Halloween fresh, Jack goes to the local mad scientist, Dr. Finkelstein, to kind of get some new ideas. And the doctor gives him this weird flubber-like whip lasso thing called a soul robber. This is our main mechanic for the video game. And this inspires Jack so much that he just leaves Halloween Town in search for more new discoveries and leaves the doctor in charge while he's gone. Don't really know why he did that. I mean, they have a mayor. But as Jack gets back from his travels, he finds that while he was away, somehow, Oogie Boogie has returned. Yeah, his little minions, Lock, Shock, and Barrel, just tossed a bunch of bugs into some bags, and I guess that was enough to revive the guy, and now he's causing chaos all around Halloween Town with these monsters that Jack has to fight. Yeah, I said fight. Bitch, this is a hack and slash game. You run around, slap enemies with the soul robber, grab enemies and throw them around. It's fun. And if you're looking at all this and thinking, wow, that looks a lot like Devil May Cry, you're right. like 100% right, because this game was made by Capcom, the Devil May Cry people. So the game actually feels really good to play. You know, the controls are fluid, the fighting is simple but engaging, and the production values are just through the roof, so everything is shockingly polished for a mid-2000s movie tie-in. Especially for a movie that came out over a decade beforehand. Let's not forget about that part. Not to mention, every single time a fight breaks out, This Is Halloween starts playing. Every time. Every single time. Every time. Every single time. Every time! So, you know, after a few tutorial fights, we get to our first boss battle, Oogie Boogie. Shadow. Yeah, his shadow. Apparently dude can just send a shadow version of himself out and around to do his bidding. I don't know, it's weird. It's a 2000s game. It did a lot of like shadow versions of characters in the 2000s. They don't really do that anymore, do they? Yeah, I don't know, but this is where some of the game's most unique mechanics really start to show up. During this and every major boss fight in the game, we get a new song. Or maybe I should say a new version of one of the classic songs from the original film, now rewritten to be about whatever is going on in the boss fight. Did I mention the movie was a musical? I probably should have mentioned that. The movie's a musical. There are songs. So as we fight Oogie's shadow here, we get a brand new rendition of the Oogie Boogie song, and it's really cute. Besides that, Oogie just kind of does this saucy little dance around the town hall while I just keep on whacking him, causing all of these multicolored musical notes to spill out. Collect enough of those, and the boss swaps to a dance break. Basically, you just do like a little rhythm minigame for a bit, and if you do well, you get to do some extra damage to the boss fight, and it's kind of it. It's all like fine. It's a perfectly okay boss fight, especially for the first one in the game. But the best part is that they actually got the original voice actors to reprise their roles for both the dialogue and the song. So we're getting Oogie Boogie's song here complete with the master Ken Page back as Oogie Boogie and Chris Sarandon back as Jack Skellington, which is also crazy because, let me get a little nerdy here for a second, as if I haven't been already. We never actually got to hear Jack's speaking voice, Chris Sarandon, sing as Jack at all in the film because all of Jack's songs were done by the film's composer, Danny Elfman. So we're kind of getting to hear some like weird alternate timeline versions of these classic songs with Jack's speaking voice now as his singing voice, and God, I just can't help but be charmed by that. That's so cute. But anyway, after beating Oogie's shadow, we find out that some of his minions have carted off Sally to the graveyard, and we gotta go save her. You know, we gotta save our girlfriend. It's probably the right thing to do, which means it's time for level 2. And so we do our weird, lanky skeleton run off to the graveyard and find Sally. That's what we were supposed to do, find Sally. And when you're not beating up skeletons, despite the fact that you are a skeleton, but these are bad skeletons, so they deserve it, you're mostly doing some fetch quests. You know, fixing a bunch of knocked over graves, finding all of these 5 missing men who are supposed to be hanging from that tree, and it's shit like that. After which, we finally learn that Sally's been taken off to this massive underground grave full of spiders. Good. But before we can get there, we get stopped by Lock, Shock, and Barrel, at which point Jack beats them up. I am not kidding. I am not exaggerating. The ruler of this realm is abusing children in broad daylight. These 3 kind of act as our mini-bosses throughout the game, so get used to seeing a lot of Jack Skellington attacking children with physical violence. Anyway, we get to that underground grave and we find Sally in the clutches of this giant spider boss. All we gotta do is whack at it enough times and it'll eventually explode into a million tiny spiders that we just have to keep whacking. Yeah, this boss really said, yeah. You know, I actually managed to die here for the first time in the entire game, and damn, dude. God, calm the down. This is not a bomb defusal. What the fuck's up with the milliseconds? But other than that, the highlight here is, again, the song. Of course, it's a reworking of Sally's song from the movie, creative titles, I know, but where the original one was this slow, somber ballad, this new version is big and bombastic with, you know, boss fight vibes, you know? Unfortunately, they couldn't get Catherine O'Hara to reprise her role as Sally, but, you know, the new voice actor does a good job. I gotta be honest, though, as much as the performances and the orchestrations here are pretty sick, these new lyrics are, these new lyrics kind of suck, or at the very least, they don't scan that great. You know, in the original song, Sally sings, "I sense there's something in the wind that feels like tragedy's at hand." Now she sings, "We should have known not to believe, and things would not have turned so bad." It just doesn't feel right. It's clunky as hell. And then Jack responds with, "It's true his plan was to deceive, but that should not make you so sad." And it's just like, every time I hear it, it hits my ear wrong. It almost feels like they're making shit up as they go. There's also this weird line where Sally says, "What will become of our dear town now that we've let our leader down?" And that just feels so wrong to me. This is like a while after Jack and Sally did their like a hug on the hill at the end of the first movie, so they're basically married now. Sally 100% should not be thinking of Jack as her leader anymore. She's the damn pumpkin queen, bitch. But anyway, I beat the boss, save Sally, and receive one of the 7 missing holiday doors that I forgot to mention. The holiday doors also went missing. Lock, Shock, and Barrel took them. You know the ones. Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, Easter, St. Patrick's Day, and Independence Day. I don't really want to know what Independence Day town looks like, if I'm being honest. So yeah, door's gone, gotta get him back. I forgot to mention that. And after saving her, Sally tells us that her creator slash, like, dad, I guess, Dr. Finkelstein, has just gone completely off his rocker.
You have to rescue Dr. Finkelstein.
Wait, the fuck? Finkelstein? Does everyone call him that?
Where's Dr. Finkelstein? Dr. Finkelstein.
Yeah, they do. What the hell is that about? They say this character's name clear as day multiple times in the movie, and it's Finkelstein. You know, because it's a reference to Frankenstein, the mad scientist who creates life with scraps and garbage. How the hell did they get this wrong? Like, I know it's not the biggest deal in the world, but seriously, for a game that is this faithful to its source material which, need I remind you, is barely over an hour long, how did they get something this glaringly wrong? So yeah, Dr. Finkelstein, I guess, has been causing trouble in Halloween Town. We gotta go figure out why. And we also get our first big power-up in the game, the Pumpkin King. Yeah, dude, now we can swap to that like crazy pumpkin scarecrow version of Jack at any time and start spitting fire at stuff. I remember loving this bit as a kid, and it is still really fun now, but it's also a lot more situational than I remember. Like, you can't just be the Pumpkin King all the time. You lose the Soul Robber in this form, and the flame attack is limited, so you can't do much. You do still kind of have to play as like regular Jack most of the time, and that's what I did. This is my bottle of piss. Heading over to the doctor's lab, and we can't get through until we bribe Igor, his assistant, with a bone biscuit. That is to say, dog food. And the last one at the local town was sold to that corpse kid who will only give it to us if we pass his quiz, and thus, the game just broke itself. This is a 10-question multiple-choice quiz that is almost exclusively based around Nightmare Before Christmas trivia. So, where did I put it? So far away. Why do I do this to myself? So yeah, if you're playing this game in the first place, you probably already know enough about Nightmare Before Christmas to ace this quiz. And the first time you do, you get your bone biscuit, but then you can just keep retaking this quiz and the game continuously rewards you for doing so with either in-game currency or really good health pickups. You can cheese this thing to get thousands upon thousands of dollars in the in-game currency to just absolutely max out all of your weapon upgrades like that. It's crazy. Not to mention, the corpse kid throughout the entire game stands right next to the fountain at the town center, which refills your health and all of your extra health files. So the more I do this, you can just keep coming back to it throughout the entire game. Shit just feels like cheating, man. But anyway, we get our bone biscuit. That is to say dog food for the man. And after some more fights, some exploration, and some puzzle solving, we get to the top of the doctor's tower and find that Oogie Boogie swapped out his brain with this goopy, evil green one with eyes. That's why shit's been going crazy. He got green-brained. You ever get green-brained? And now he's turned on us. Boss time! This fight was easy. I mean, seriously, there's not much you even really have to do. It's just a game of swapping the doctor's brain back to normal, which is fairly easy because Oogie Boogie left his real brain just sitting in the same room. completely out in the open. Dumbass. And that's actually a real shame because this is the one and only time in the entire game where they gave us an original song. A brand new, written from scratch, original Nightmare Before Christmas song sung by Dr. Finkelstein. And it's pretty interesting. Yeah, it's a little bit of a clunky composition, but it actually manages to sound very Nightmare Before Christmas without even really sounding much like a Danny Elfman song. As an Oingo Boingo fan, I kind of know Danny Elfman when I hear him, and he's not here. But what is here is actually pretty interesting. It kind of culminates all of the different disparate parts of the Nightmare Before Christmas musical aesthetic into one. You got big, bombastic gothic orchestrations, you got a creepy waltz, you got a lot of talk singing, and it's even got this bluesy little shift right at the end of the chorus that kind of brings to mind Oogie Boogie. Yeah, it's just a shame we couldn't hear the Doctor's original voice actor doing this song, but he died 7 years before the game even came out, so I get it. He had other stuff going on. We beat the boss, get another holiday door, and unlock the other big power-up in this game, Santa Jack. And this one was basically useless to me. Yeah. Santa Jack tosses out these presents that can stun enemies in different ways, and I just never really found it useful. Honestly, if anything, trying to use it in battles just made things go worse for me. And I want to say the only two places in the entire game where it was absolutely mandatory were once right after I got it, and another when I needed to stop the clown with the tearaway face who got stuck on this runaway unicycle or something. After that, I didn't really use him much at all. So, have a look. Now say goodbye. Santa Jack! From here, we meet up with the Vampire Brothers who give us the full lowdown on Oogie Boogie's real plan. He's not just looking to take over Halloween Town, no. He wants to become the ruler of all 7 holidays. So not only have Lock, Shock, and Barrel stolen the holiday doors, Oogie has kidnapped all of the other holiday leaders in the hopes of becoming the 7 holidays king, forcing the entire world to celebrate Oogie Boogie and only Oogie Boogie, for 7 days out of the year. I don't think that sounds as intimidating or scary or threatening as maybe the writers intended. So what? We're doing all of this to save a cumulative week out of the year? Really? But either way, we probably should still stop him. So from there, we head to the mayor's place, and of course, he's also been getting with by Oogie Boogie and his minions, so we have to deal with that. We have one last face-off with Lock, Shock, and Barrel. We save the mayor, and from there, we are trapdoored into Oogie's corridor. This crazy, fiery obstacle course covered in all of that, classic Oogie Boogie casino shit. And dude, seeing this unlocks some seriously deep shit in my mind, dude. Not only do I remember this level, I remember exactly where and when I played it growing up. Spoiler, I wasn't at home when I played it. Where do you think I played it? Leave your comments. Leave your guesses in the comments, and I won't care. But after we get past all of the nostalgic whiplash and actually beat the damn level, we find the lair where Oogie's been hiding all of the different holiday leaders. Unfortunately, though, they're all just in giant garbage bags, like when they got the Easter Bunny in the movie. So we don't get to see any of them. That's a bit of a letdown. They had a really cool opportunity here to introduce some cool new characters to the Nightmare Before Christmas canon. I mean, obviously, we've already seen the leaders of Christmas and Halloween and even Easter, but wouldn't it have been really weird and fun to see the Nightmare Before Christmas versions of Cupid and Leprechauns and Uncle Sam? Thanksgiving. Okay, maybe it was a good thing we didn't see him, actually. The important thing is that we found him, but before we can do anything about it, we get ambushed by another giant spider fight, and it's literally 1 for 1, exactly the same as the last time. Legit, they even play Sally's song again, even though Sally is not here. She's off swaying back and forth in the graveyard or some shit. But all this is just a warm-up fight for the real boss as we finally reach the man himself, Oogie Boogie, in all of his neon green, burlap, weirdly casino-themed glory. And honestly, he looks great, man. I really can't say enough positive shit about how good this game looks. It's such a beautiful love letter to Jesus fuck. Okay, maybe they're going a little too hard on Oogie Boogie here. I guess these are the kind of results you can get when you don't have to spend 6 months moving a 50-pound puppet frame by frame under hot studio lights. Just pure fucking chaos, dude. Unfortunately, though, we got tricked. Yes, this is your fault too. This was not Oogie Boogie. This was his shadow. Again, just more cleverly disguised. The real Oogie Boogie is already off in Christmas Town. I don't fucking know, killing Santa, probably. So we grab the other holiday door that we got from winning the boss fight. We head back to Halloween Town Square. We tell the mayor to go save the holiday leaders, go deal with that, and we head for Christmas Town. But to get there, we first gotta go through Spiral Hill, by far the most iconic location in the entire Nightmare Before Christmas franchise. Once there, we use the holiday doors to unspiral the hill. Gross. Viscerally uncomfortable while watching this animation play out, and before we can climb over it, we find Sally at the top of the hill. And of course, Sally's on top of the hill, Jack's at the base of the hill. They do the end of the movie. They just recreate the ending of the movie where they reprise Sally's song, which, probably would have hit a little bit harder had they not just reprised Sally's song already 10 minutes ago when Sally wasn't even fucking there. But, it's still cute. It's still the end of the movie. It still gets a smile out of me. It's whatever. With that, we can now finally head off to the Hinterlands. The f*** are the Hinterlands? Oh, wait, it's this place? The forest with all the holiday doors? That has a name? That's had a name this entire time? Has that ever been established before now? I don't think it has, dude. What? So we run down Spiral Hill, push into the forest to reach the Hinterlands, and... Whoa. Dude, look at this level, man. This is... Damn, I'm speechless. This is beautiful. Seriously, man, when has a 2000s movie tie-in game ever come up with something this just stunningly framed? The camera angles, the black and white color scheme, the winding, overlapping lines that make the whole scene look like a pencil sketch, and the music that kind of just sounds plucked straight out of Undertale, honestly. But yeah, man, the Hinterlands might be my favorite part of the game so far, which is weird because I have absolutely no memory of it whatsoever. Not a single shred of a fiber of a memory from when I was a kid. Which is weird because I know for a fact that I would have had to play through this entire sequence to get to that final boss, and because I know that this sequence, which is a maze, would have had me stumped for ages. You gotta work your way through this winding forest, find all the different holiday trees, and put the holiday doors back where they belong. Doing so restores the color back to that segment of the level, which, honestly just kind of makes the level look worse. I like the black and white version better. Can we keep it? Can we keep it? Well, anyway, once the whole forest and the Hinterlands are back to normal, it is finally off to Christmas Town, which of course has been totally over by Oogie Boogie. So let's see, he's tied up Santa into this crazy death trap, leaving him dangling over these train tracks and mere minutes away from plummeting to his death. And of course, this being Oogie Boogie's master plan, something that has to go absolutely perfect in order for him to succeed, he just kind of sits in the sleigh while I set Santa free. I'm starting to feel like this guy just doesn't want it enough, Well, with Santa now safe, Oogie hitches the sleigh and flies off, only to almost immediately crash land back down in Halloween Town. And after one too many setbacks, Oogie Boogie has had enough, calling forth millions of more bugs to assimilate into him, turning Oogie Boogie into this absolutely gigantic, monstrous version of himself. And this is it. The final boss, the massive fight that Baby Fofi just could not get past no matter what he tried. Okay, so the way this boss fight works is in two phases. Phase 1 is the actual fight, where you can either whack on Oogie's ankles for an hour, or you can use these gas pipes to shoot fire at him and work his health down way faster, at which point the fight only really lasts for about 10 minutes. And most of that time isn't even really spent fighting. It's mostly just spent waiting for the pipes to activate and waiting for Oogie to get close. It's not even really that hard. It's just a lot of downtime. This was not the part that Baby Fofi struggled with. It's once you defeat Monster Oogie here that things actually start to get tricky. The dude collapses onto the ground, goes all wiggly, kind of assimilates his body into the earth. I think gets even bigger, and then the final showdown begins. It's a dance break. And now you might be wondering, what the big deal is here. Every major boss fight in this entire game has had one of these rhythm game, like, dance break segments. But the thing is, none of those segments were mandatory. I think. I'm pretty sure these were just like rewards for doing good in the boss fight, giving you a chance to do some extra damage to the boss. The battle never hinged on the dance break. But for this fight, the rhythm minigame is the whole deal. And on top of that, those fuckers changed the rules. For the first time in this entire game, doing bad at the rhythm minigame actually hurts you. You lose health for every beat you miss. And unlike every other fight in the game, pausing no longer brings up your inventory, allowing you to quickly refill your health. Now if you pause, this just happens. They want you to do this entire thing completely on your own with no help and no training wheels. This fight almost expects you to be damn near perfect, which is kind of rich considering these rhythm minigames are not actually that great, all things considered. I've been kind of like lax on them up until now because they were never really required, but now, God, these are just not great. They're not really that responsive. Like, I always feel like I'm pressing the button right on the beat, but then it just always misses. I can't figure out what's going wrong. And, the thing is, I can't really say how much of that is the game being bad or unresponsive and how much of it is me playing a PS2 game on a modern monitor for footage capture and all that jazz. That throws a wrench into the situation, but like, something is not clicking here. So of course, I failed. My first game over since that damn spider boss fight. But hey, my nerves got the best of me. I've been dreading this and building it up for decades of my life. So, now that we've kind of ripped that band-aid off, maybe now—
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Holy shit. I can't do it. 20-something years later, I still can't do it. I'm not fucking around either, man. I spent days just trying to get through this one fight, and it never happened for me. Mainly because every time you lose during the dance break, you have to go all the way back and do the first phase of the fight all over again every single time. I don't know why. They're two separate things. They split them up almost like they're different chapters. They just— every time. Phase 2, fail, go back to phase 1. It's 10 minutes of waiting to do a piss-easy boss fight just to get to a rhythm game that doesn't work. Because of this, I was never able to really work up a rhythm or a groove with this minigame and really figure out what I was doing wrong, because every time I failed, it was 10 minutes of a completely different game. All just to retry this one segment, which, need I remind you, is only this difficult because the game changed all the rules at the last minute. I just couldn't do it, man. I just couldn't do it. And I don't know if it really resonates how much I am disappointed in myself over that. I really wanted this video to be me finally conquering this thing that's been bothering me as a Nightmare Before Christmas fan since 2004. Come on, damn it, I fucking suck. And look, I could spend another week or 2 or 3 of my life trying to get this legit and further delaying what was already a very late video. Seriously, I tried to upload this at like Halloween originally. Or I could just look it up on YouTube, save myself some time, and you know what? Fuck it. So you beat the dance boss, Oogie dies, Jax talks to Santa for a little bit, and then he meets Sally on Spiral Hill, and they do the ending of the movie again. They already did this. They're just doing the ending of the movie again. The credits roll, and that's it. Damn, I made the right choice going to YouTube. That, as much as I love this game, that ending is not worth dealing with all of this. But yeah, that is Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge. And I know it kind of soured for me right there at the end, but don't get me wrong, I still absolutely love this game. It is a genuinely stunning love letter to the original movie. It just nails every aspect of the Nightmare Before Christmas experience, even better than some of the more well-known video game adaptations like, say, the Kingdom Hearts levels. But that is just looking at it as a video game. Remember, this thing was billed as a sequel, and honestly, It's kind of a shitty sequel, isn't it? I mean, if you can even call it a sequel. I mean, technically, yes, it is. It is a story that takes place a year after the original and has a few new things happening in it, but really, it's kind of more of a stealth remake of the movie, if anything. Like, it's still a story about Jack feeling dissatisfied with Halloween, so he goes looking for new stuff, which leads to him fighting Oogie Boogie and going to Christmas Town, and ultimately realizing at the end that everything he was looking for was right at home, where he already was, and he realizes his feelings for Sally. It's very close to being the exact same plot as the original movie. And they lean into it. They go out of their way to take every opportunity possible to recreate famous scenes and songs from the movie. Sometimes more than once. And, you know, if you consider it canon, kind of makes Jack look like a bit of a dumbass, making literally all the same mistakes again just 1 year after the end of the movie. Oh, it landed pretty perfectly right there with all the other nightmare stuff. But either way, you know, those kind of little nitpicks and mental breakdowns aside, I think that this is still a fantastic experience that any Nightmare Before Christmas or even just Tim Burton fan really should check out. If you're okay with spending $100 on a PS2 game, yeah, it's another one of those. It's why I probably shouldn't be throwing it around a bunch. I mean, get it. I know people are gonna be mad about that. Disney, Capcom, please, for the love of God, give us a port of this game. Just make it more accessible, please. It's so good. Or better yet, give us a sequel. I mean, this is already a fantastic foundation that you could build on for so many more cool expansions for a franchise that, let's face it, is way more popular and lucrative now than it ever was in 2004. And I know you've been making those friggin' Pumpkin Queen books. There are 3 Nightmare Before Christmas novels that are focused on Sally and are a complete, 2 of them are sequels, one of them's like an alternate universe thing, but still, you're making sequels in books. You can make them in games. Being real for a second, I am of the mind that Nightmare Before Christmas is kind of perfect as it is. You know, we don't need a sequel film. We don't necessarily need a TV show. We don't need a live action remake, for God's sake. But I would take 1,000,000 more games like Oogie's Revenge. I mean, I wouldn't beat them, but, you know, I'd take them. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you for being a bit patient while I took some time to kind of recoup after the holidays. And now, of course, I gotta give a huge shout out to my Living in Denial channel members. Those being Mimikyu199, Princess Ella Bunny, KO Productions, Loki, Not That One, Chiller Beans, Kasara, Spooky Month 333, Meme Boy 049, Reality in Color, Sam Burger, Jake Artist 13, JBG 0801, Broken Pie, Revamped Skunk, Grace Strickland, L1 Brew 5, Hey It's Rosa, No Naha, Strange Fan 101, Glue Gunner, AR Hester, Dirk, Flip Flop, Mario Underground, Wolf Glar, The Flame Bucket, Comfy Wild, Z-Boot, Cyril Plays 656, Ciela Star, and Galaxy. Thank you.